Welcome to the second guided meditation on the sacred text, The Voice of the Silence. Extracts from the Book of the Golden Precepts, written down by H.P.B. These meditations take you on reflective journeys through eternal truths. While some simply view the voice of the silence as metaphysical poetry, very few recognize it as an essential text for true mystics. This meditation is for those who can hear and feel the cries of humanity's great pain, those who choose to give up personal bliss and salvation in order to work and serve towards alleviating the suffering of all beings, those who selflessly walk the path of the ageless teachings. This path is one of compassion, of love, of self-transformation, of selflessness and service, dedicated to all of humanity and all sentient life. The Dalai Lama acknowledges the profound influence of the voice of the silence on sincere seekers and those aspiring to the wisdom and compassion of the Bodhisattva path. So let's begin. Find a comfortable, private, and quiet space, either lying down or sitting back. Meditation is not a doing, but a calm letting go. The only requirement is that you peacefully redirect your attention and your observations as we transcend the mind. Take your time and do whatever feels right for you. Perhaps start by taking 3 deep breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Whatever it is, let it be. Allow it. Let it all go. And with each breath, softly surrender. Feel any and all tension or discomfort gently dissolve. Thoughts will arise, and that is completely normal. Let them pass without any judgment from you. Simply observe and detach as they roll on by, as if you were watching cars pass on a quiet country road. You are at peace in this present moment. All is well. Dedicated to the few. Bestride the bird of life, if thou wouldst know. Give up thy life, if thou wouldst live. 3 halls, O weary pilgrim, lead to the end of toils. 3 halls, O conqueror of Mara, will bring thee through 3 states, into the 4th, and thence into the 7 worlds, the worlds of rest eternal. If thou wouldst learn their names, then hearken and remember. The name of the first hall is ignorance, avidya. It is the hall in which thou sawest the light, in which thou livest and shalt die. The name of hall the second is the hall of learning. In it thy soul will find the blossoms of life, but under every flower a serpent coiled. The name of the 3rd hall is wisdom, beyond which stretch the shoreless waters of Akshara, the indestructible fount of omniscience. If thou wouldst cross the 1st hall safely, let not thy mind mistake the fires of lust that burn therein for the sunlight of life. If thou wouldst cross the 2nd safely, stop not the fragrance of its stupefying blossoms to inhale. If freed thou wouldst be from the karmic chains, seek not for thy guru in those myopic regions. The wise ones tarry not in pleasure grounds of senses. The wise ones heed not the sweet-tongued voices of illusion. seek for him who is to give thee birth in the hall of wisdom, the hall which lies beyond, wherein all shadows are unknown, and where the light of truth shines with unfading glory. That which is uncreate abides in thee, disciple, as it abides in that hall. If thou wouldst reach it and blend the two, thou must divest thyself of thy dark garments of illusion. Stifle the voice of flesh. Allow no image of the senses to get between its light and thine, that thus the twain may blend in one. And, having learnt thine own Agneya, flee from the hall of learning. This hall is dangerous in its perfidious beauty, is needed but for thy probation. Beware, Lanu, lest dazzled by elusive radiance, thy soul should linger and be caught in its deceptive light. This light shines from the jewel of the great ensnarer, Mara. The senses it bewitches, blinds the mind, and leaves the unwary an abandoned wreck. The moth attracted to the dazzling flame of thy night lamp is doomed to perish in the viscid oil. The unwary soul that fails to grapple with the mocking demon of illusion will return to earth the slave of Mara. Behold the hosts of souls. Watch how they hover o'er the stormy sea of human life, and how exhausted, bleeding, broken-winged they drop, one after other on the swelling waves. Tossed by the fierce winds, chased by the gale, they drift into the eddies and disappear within the first great vortex. If through the hall of wisdom thou wouldst reach the vale of bliss, disciple, close fast thy senses against the great dire heresy of separateness that weans thee from the rest. Let not thy heaven-born, merged in the sea of Maya, break from the universal parent, soul, but let the fiery power retire into the inmost chamber, the chamber of the heart, and the abode of the world's mother. Then from the heart that power shall rise into the sixth, the middle region, the place between thine eyes, when it becomes the breath of the one soul, the voice which filleth all, thy master's voice. 'Tis only then that thou canst become a walker of the sky, who treads the winds above the waves, whose step touches not the waters. Before thou sett'st thy foot upon the ladder's upper rung, the ladder of the mystic sounds, thou hast to hear the voice of thy inner God in 7 manners. The first is like the nightingale's sweet voice, chanting a song of parting to its mate. The second comes as the sound of a silver cymbal of the Tianis, awakening the twinkling stars. The next is as the plaint melodious of the ocean sprite imprisoned in its shell. And this is followed by the chant of Vina. The fifth-like sound of bamboo flute shrills in thine ear. It changes next into a trumpet blast. The last vibrates like the dull rumbling of a thundercloud. The seventh swallows all the other sounds. They die and then are heard no more. When the 6 are slain and at the master's feet are laid, then is the pupil merged into the one, becomes that one, and lives therein. Before that path is entered, thou must destroy thy lunar body, cleanse thy mind body, and make clean thy heart. Eternal life's pure waters, clear and crystal, with the monsoon tempest's muddy torrents cannot mingle. Heaven's dewdrop glittering in the morn's first sunbeam within the bosom of the lotus, when dropped on earth, becomes a piece of clay. Behold, the pearl is now a speck of mire. Strive with thy thoughts unclean before they overpower thee. Use them as they will thee, for if thou sparest them and they take root and grow, know well these thoughts will overpower and kill thee. Beware, disciple, suffer not, e'en though it be their shadow, to approach. For it will grow, increase in size and power, and then this thing of darkness will absorb thy being before thou hast well realized the black, foul monster's presence. Before the mystic power, Kundalini, can make of thee a god, Lanu, thou must have gained the faculty to slay thy lunar form at will. The self of matter and the self of spirit can never meet. One of the twain must disappear. There is no place for both. Ere thy soul's mind can understand, the bud of personality must be crushed out. The worm of sense destroyed past resurrection. Thou canst not travel on the path before thou hast become that path itself. Let thy soul lend its ear to every cry of pain, like as the lotus bares its heart to drink the morning sun. Let not the fierce sun dry one tear of pain before thyself hast wiped it from the sufferer's eye. But let each burning human teardrop on thy heart and there remain, nor ever brush it off until the pain that caused it is removed. These tears, O thou of heart most merciful, these are the streams that irrigate the fields of charity immortal. 'Tis on such soil that grows the midnight blossom of Buddha, more difficult to find, more rare to view than is the flower of the voge tree. It is the seed of freedom from rebirth. It isolates the arhat both from strife and lust. It leads him through the fields of being unto the peace and bliss known only in the land of silence and non-being. We will continue the voice of the silence in future meditations. Stay here in this sacred space as long as you wish. Thank you for being with me.